Hi everybody, Shy Guy here. Been doing some reaction videos, some of Ren and some of Taylor Swift songs with Justin Vernon. I've kind of noticed that a lot of them are kind of on the downside. They're they're not exactly happy songs, I guess is the best way to put it. But somebody recommended a song "Bittersweet" Symphony by Ren. Told me to go ahead and check that out. That it might be a little bit on the more uplifting side. So I'm gonna go ahead and check that out and see. Hopefully something a little happier. Okay, just real quick, I didn't expect him to be using the Bittersweet Symphony from the Verve Retake. That makes sense. I should have looked into the title a bit more, but yeah, it's the same music from the Verve song, so I assume he's just gonna kind of redo it over the top.
I've got dirt on my Reeboks from staying up all night. Spent my last £10 on this pack of Marlboro Lights. I phoned up Stevie, I said, "Gee, you alright?" He said, "It's 6 in the morning, brother, get some shut-eye." I feel a sense of well-being this time in the morning. Wear my heart out of my hoodie while the city is snoring. Drunks falling off the sidewalks get issued a warning. Distant sirens, they crescendo like a symphony calling. This is the Britain I know, this is the Britain I love. There's poetry inside this city if you listen enough. Working class casualties out on the street sleep rough, while a mother with her baby takes her pram to the pub. And while she's not
Again, I've always kind of said that like a lot of what he does is very like performance based, other than like he's a good singer songwriter, he's a great performer, but he does a lot of extra things. Like he even just walking down the street, you can kind of tell he's almost like stumbling a little bit, like it's been a long night.
knocking them down, the cost of living goes up. I can't relate to politicians with their head in the mud. I resonate with messy Fridays with the boy smoking bud. We do our bit to numb the struggle, as below so above, and as above so below. Here in the city we glow. I blow a smoke ring up to heaven and it makes a halo. And then the clock strikes 7, guess it's time to head home. My companion is the city, so I'm never alone. I'm stepping in and out of gaps of the pavement cracks, and if I go to sleep now, that's an anticlimax. People rise for work and the sun mirrors that. A perfect juxtaposition for those out on the lash.
Yeah, that's I love what he's talking about. One of my favorite memories of coming to Chicago is when I first got here. I had a cousin who worked like the club scene, and went to her club, stayed out till like 4 or whatever it was, and then the after party at some speakeasy that I didn't know about. She brought me to, but it was like in some basement or underneath a bar or something like that. And I remember being down there for a long time, having a great night. And then finally, when we like went to go upstairs, because we were in a basement, so you had to, like I didn't even know the sun had risen, and it was probably like a Wednesday or something. And this is in downtown Chicago, so I remember coming out of the door and just seeing tons of people like in suits and everything else. The whole city was just like bustling, and it just felt weird to just be someone who was completely hammered and hadn't gone to bed yet, and then everybody else is like starting their day and yours hasn't even ended yet. But it definitely is like an interesting thing to observe when it happens to you.
Bear with me, it's beautiful, I think it's irrefutable. There's beauty in a contradicting Britain, indisputable. Junkie in the cubicle, that old spoon is usable. His mother's in a black suit, crying at a funeral. 9 to 5 crucible, this route is not commutable. A kid falls off the tracks and then he serves a scratch at juvenile. Libby's at the goalies, but her disposition's humorful, while Davy's at the bookies and his mates call him delusion.
All right, so this kind of goes back a little bit to some of the stuff that he talks about before, which is kind of like I feel like he constantly talks about being positive and being negative, or doing positive things or doing negative things. But I think the different people that he was breaking down, I think he was saying something about like 9 to 5s, or I forget all the lyrics, but it kind of felt like because he was going through different types of people and they all seem to be struggling, that even though we all have, different choices that we've made, to live our life day to day, that like in one way or another, we're all kind of going through a similar struggle, even if it's not the exact same struggle, but we're all kind of struggling in one way or another.
No, Britain, drink it down and moan about the weather. When the sun starts shining, feel the factor 10 tremor. Boys, we'll be in it together until the fists start flying like they're Conor McGregor, and then he's out. I think he took it too far, I think the boy saw red, I think he hit him too hard. Now he's face down on the pavement with the face full of tar. Mad how small altercations can define who we are. That's my cue.
I like that line a lot. Yeah, I can see it now, so it makes it easier. I was going to say how small altercations can define who we are. I think that's very true. Even small decisions that or things that happen in our lives, the fork in the road, even if at that time it seems like something very small, like to go to a concert or to not go to a concert, can have incredible, crazy ramifications. I mean, you can meet your wife and kids, and something so small can snowball into something so big just by that one little decision that you make, for better or for worse, to be honest.
I guess it's time to head home. It's bittersweet how my high found its way to below. And I've said it once before, as above, so below. Living on the streets of Britain.
Not to cut that off, but like, especially when you're staying up all night and you're having a great time partying, it's like when it's about to end, I could see that like the high turning into a low. You're like, oh, this is over. This has been like, I don't want to go to bed and for this. And then you have to wake up and then back to reality. I think it feels like so. And sometimes reality can be a little bit harsh. So sometimes just kind of living in that dream state can be just easier, I think.
And you just go with the flow, but I'm done. I'm out for the night. As the sun paints the pavements, I'll turn out the light. White noise on the radio to quiet my mind.
Yeah.
Always was an overthinker, just the way I'm designed. Britain, drink it down and moan about the weather. When it's all said and done, we'll be in it all together. Boys will be boys, we'll be like it forever. It's a bittersweet symphony, we're birds of a feather.
He always surprises me with something else, so I gotta wait for a second. Okay. No, that was really good. I think part of what I was thinking about kind of holds water just because at the end he said, like, we're birds of a feather. I feel like he's trying, a big part of it is him trying to recognize the fact that, like, even though we're different people on different paths during the day, and I may be coming home from the bars and you may be starting work, that, like, we're all struggling at different times for different reasons. And, if we can find a way to not turn in, I think he said like the Conor McGregor line or whatever, because they started fighting. I think that was kind of his representation of like us acting like we're not all, mad or upset about something. And so, if we start pushing each other, then it turns into something bigger as opposed to supporting each other, which can de-escalate a situation, like being sympathetic or empathetic with somebody about what they're going through, even if it's not the same problems that you're going through, just the fact that we're both going through problems. I feel like that's kind of a common theme through some of the songs that I've heard. He definitely is very poetic, very performative, and this is the third song I've seen, and a little bit different than the other two. Not as long, obviously, and first time he's like done it over another backing track, but again, very impressed. He definitely has a fan in me, and yeah, I want to keep checking out what he's got. You guys have a good rest of your week.